competent QB play, a well-coached playoff football team, and fans galore this weekend.
Erik, what are you talking about?
The Browns play the Bills. I'm talking about the Bills, of course. That's right. The Lake Erie Bros are in town. I gotta say, Noah, if I had a
Wait, 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 wait. Before you get into all of that, what the hell are you wearing, Erik?
it's a Christmas onesie.
You just decided Friday before Christmas it's time to wear a Christmas onesie?
It's that time of the year. I'm getting into the spirit. I'm listening to Christmas music, not you, Mariah Carey. I wanted a Santa hat. I don't know where my Santa hat is. But yeah, it's Christmas time. It was also the office Christmas party slash pajama day. So I wore this to work today. I didn't like it. It felt really weird. I'm very professional and pretty buttoned up, as you know. But yeah, I'm in the holiday spirit, man. I just figured I'd keep it rolling. These are little
I
Yetis, Sasquatches, by the way.
I wish you would bring that professionalism when you come on the show, but that's fine. Let's get into everything Browns Bills because I'm excited for this. Just real quick reminder for everybody watching, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment down below to keep the conversation going, and follow us on all socials: Instagram, TikTok, X, at sign the office CLE. Erik, let's talk, man.
Yeah, Noah's not worth the follow, but I definitely am. So make sure you hit that button for us. Listen, as I was trying to say before we got down our onesie track there, it's very comfortable, by the way. The Lake Erie Bros are coming to town. I mentioned fandom. I have a feeling this stadium will be more Bills fans than it is Browns fans. But what I was starting to say, Noah, is that if I had to pick a second team, I don't really have a second team. I don't really watch until it's playoff time, but it would probably be the Bills for me. Like, as I look forward to the playoffs and who I want to win a Super Bowl, it's going to be the Bills right now.
Is that why your onesie is Bills colored?
Oh, come on. I'm still a Browns fan.
Okay. Okay, I will let it go. I will let it go. Yeah, I think this is going to be a very heavy Bills influenced game. In fact, Southern Tier, a brewery downtown, my girlfriend works over there. They have a buyout for this weekend for Bills Packers. That's how crazy it's going to be for the Bills Mafia here in Cleveland. And we're just here. We're hanging out. We have three
Wait,
wins, and
the
we're the Cleveland
Bills
Browns.
where are the Cleveland Browns? The Bills backer, we gotta get that guy on the show, by the way, but the Bills backers, bought out a bar in Cleveland?
The Southern Tier, both floors.
No kidding. I mean, good for them. I will say, like, all the fans that we've met this year, visiting, and it hasn't mattered who the team was, they've all been pretty great. Shout out Packers fans. I think Bills fans are gonna be very similar. I know I have a couple, girls in the office that are actually from Buffalo, and they're going to the game, and I told the one, who had never been to a Browns game, I'm like, "Check out Muni Lot. Everyone's gonna be cool." So that's kinda neat, I guess.
Yeah, it is, I guess. Thanks for stimulating our local economy at the very least, while you give us an ass whooping on the football field on Sunday. If you were surprised or wondering what our thoughts were about what the outcome of this football game was going to be, I don't know how you are if you've watched the Browns or the Bills play football this season, but yes, I am predicting a Buffalo Bills ass whooping on the Cleveland Browns happening this weekend. I will give you that one for free.
Well, I'm not going to pick the Browns like I picked Tulane and yesterday's video, but I will say this, it would be the Cleveland Browns way of doing things to get a win here. It would also be the Bills way of doing things to get a loss here. I think we're too late in the season for that to happen. They already suffered their Miami loss, the
Yeah.
Bills I'm talking about. But you can almost feel that as a possibility, like when we beat New England, Tom Brady's New England years back. But yeah, I agree with you. That's not gonna happen. The If Buffalo doesn't win, I'd be shocked, and they're also playing, to clinch their 7th straight playoff berth, so they beat us, they're officially into the playoffs. Can't imagine that doesn't happen.
Yeah, neither can I. But the main storylines, as we've said week in and week out for the Cleveland Browns, and why we are still watching and why we are still posting so much content and why we still care, and you should too, are a couple of things. And I want to get into Myles Garrett first. Instead of Shedeur, we normally go down the Shedeur rabbit hole and talk about that right off rip. But I think Myles Garrett is more important this week because Myles Garrett is a sack and a half away from breaking the record of sacks in a regular season of an NFL. So, to you, Do you think it happens this game against a quarterback in Josh Allen that does rush around, move around in the pocket a little bit, take some more time? Do you think it happens in front of the home fans, or do we have to wait one more week until it is the dreaded Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Browns for that moment to finally happen?
Yeah, I'm split a little bit here because I could see it happening. That said, the Bills' O line has held up pretty well this year. You talk about Josh Allen being mobile. He is mobile, but it's in a positive way. He has that mobility. He can get out of the pocket. He runs the ball really effectively. And of course, him getting beyond the line of scrimmage, it's no longer a sack. So I don't know. I'm thinking no for some reason, but I'm rooting for it, obviously.
I have decent faith it's going to happen just because of the fact that it's so close to happening. I mean, we're talking about a sack and a half, and this is a guy that's had 5 sack, 4 sack, 3 sack, 2 sack games. So I could see it happening in this game. I think it'd be poetic for it to happen against the Steelers just because of the history there with, of course, the helmet ripoff and all of that. But he's still definitely breaking it. It just depends when. And I
Yeah.
hope it is this game so he can just continue to pile onto that record and make it harder for the next guy so we can have at least something of a bright spot and a longevity point from this season for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, and I think moving to the broader aspect of the game, obviously there's no playoff picture for the Browns. We've been eliminated.
Wait, there
Um
isn't?
yeah, right. There's not even that like crazy math like if all this happens like yeah, no, we're just out obviously. But I think what you see playing Buffalo is that we get to see a team and what a team looks like when its identities align from ownership down. Um and I think that's both refreshing and frustrating in its own ways. It's obviously frustrating from the standpoint that it's not our team, but we also know that they have one Josh Allen who, pound for pound, is arguably one of the best, if not the best, quarterbacks in the league. And they've still had their own hump that they haven't gotten over. Of course, they still have not won a Super Bowl. They don't have the Chiefs to run into this year. Um, so yes, I agree with you though. We are looking for Myles Garrett and we are looking for Shedeur Sanders. You want to touch on that front now?
Yeah, because I think you set it up perfectly with what you were saying. This is a well run, top of the league organization that is not where the Cleveland Browns are right now. And you have a lot of rookies on this team. And yes, I'll get into Shador for in a second, but you're talking about a lot of rookies, a lot of young players on this roster that are going up and getting to go up against the best NFL competition. And not just for Shador, seeing where they stack up right now, but Swessinger and Judkins and Fannin and I think that's everything that matters right now. Oh, Mason Graham. I always forget Mason Graham, and it's funny because he's our top pick. But you get to see what all of these guys look like against the cream of the crop in terms of the NFL. You're talking about probably the favorite out of the AFC just because of their longevity making it to the playoffs. They're my favorite to win the AFC right now. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
So it's really seeing what these guys can do against a really good team. And if to bring it to Shador now, if Shador goes out there and has himself at least a decent game, that's a really good sign, especially after how ugly it was against another really good team in the Chicago Bears last week. What are you looking for? What are you thinking?
I think what I want to see the most, and this is from fandom, not from the team, is that we reset the lens a little bit when it comes to Shador. Because, I mean, you and I break down film, we talk about errant throws, etc., and we chalk it up to rookie mistake. Like we give a lot of break to Shador, and I think we should. So if you're evaluating Shador through the lens of wins and losses, raw stats, whether he looks like Josh Allen this week, because obviously there's going to be the easy comparison playing the Bills, I think you're missing the point. Shador's upside's not about domination or what he's doing or wins or losses right now. For me, it's about translation and what's already working at the NFL level and what we can scale if developed correctly. That's what we should have our eyes on, and that's the lens through which we should look at Shador. And there's more there than people want to admit. Honestly, he has pocket poise already. Like we're seeing this growth, and we talk about it week in, week out. But he's keeping his eyes downfield. We looked at some of those sacks in the film. Some of that he held on to the ball too long, certainly, but his eyes are downfield. He's trying to find targets. He's been climbing the pocket more naturally. He hasn't been drifting as much. He's not abandoning the structure after that first hint of pressure anymore, which we saw early from Shedeur and we saw in college a lot. And even when that late protection's breaking down on him, he's been maintaining his throwing posture pretty well. And he resets his base. Like we see good things is the point that I'm making. So I just want fandom to understand that it's about progression, not perfection.
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying as well. Josh Allen, and I'm not comparing Shador to Josh Allen for those who think that we lean too heavily in the Shador camp. But I am saying Josh Allen was a long term type of project, and long term, I mean multi year project for them to get him to the point where he is now.
Yeah,
Josh Allen, when he finally started playing NFL snaps, does not look like Josh Allen now. And Josh Allen's first full year as a starter definitely also does not look like Josh Allen now. So looking at that and understanding patience and understanding what you look for in a rookie is some of the good signs and good tendencies and understanding you're going to have to develop that. Whether they decide that's what they're going to do with Shador or not, or they move forward and draft a quarterback or whatever ends up happening at the quarterback position after this year. Look at Josh Allen. Look at what the Bills did. Look at what they had to do with bringing in new coaching, kind of readjusting things, and put that in your perspective, put that in your mind as to what makes an NFL quarterback and an NFL system work on the long term. I know me, you, everybody would love if 12 went out there, put up 500 yards, put up 5 touchdowns, and looked like crazy whatever.
of
The
course.
odds
Yeah.
are that's not going to happen, though.
No, it's not. And I think he's progressing maybe even ahead of schedule to your point. When
Yeah,
you
I
look
think
at
he
other
is too.
rookies, I think his processing speed has been a pretty solid strong point for him. I think when we talk about we broke down film and we talk about looking off defender, like he's doing some of those things that are higher level. Um, and the turnovers that we've seen aren't really even from staring guys down. Like we've seen it a little bit with Fannin just going to him too much. But they're asking him to execute, kind of layered concepts with not a lot of margin for error. You can
Real
build
quick,
an offense. Go ahead.
Real quick off of that, I wouldn't call it a strong suit. I would say it's improving, and that's the positive to me. I think
Yeah.
his processing speed in the Baltimore game was not great, and it's looked slowly better with things like looking off safeties or defenders or whatnot, like you're talking about. I wouldn't call it a straight. You said strong suit. I have a gripe with that wording. I think it's
For a
a positive.
rookie with less than 5 games under his belt.
Fair.
That's what
That's fair.
that's what I mean when I say strength. I think and that's what I mean when I say progressing, uh, somewhat quickly. I think where and he has a toughness about him. That's what I really like about him, whether he's in front of
Same.
the media, out there. I mean, he has a toughness and he has an attitude that some people don't like. They don't like the sarcasm. I gotta say, I like it a lot. He strikes me as he strikes me as a great kid, honestly. Stefanski's offense, it's timing heavy. It requires good spacing. It punishes hesitation. These aren't things necessarily to set up Shedeur Sanders right now, because you need pass protection. You need consistent wide receiver separation, which, by the way, he's throwing with touch and still placing the ball well. And you need a true quick game identity there. We don't see a lot of that. And I think a lot of that comes down to the scheming and the coaching. So they're treating Shador. I don't know. They're not giving him the right tools to succeed constantly, in my opinion. How do you see it?
Yeah, I see it as they're trying to help the rookie develop as much as they can at this point. He is the starter. They named him the starter for a reason, whether that be in uh spite of what Stefanski saw and thought early on or whatever. He's progressing and that's a good sign. And that's all I truly care about at the end of the day is the progression of Shador and seeing what that looks like again to bring it back into the Bills game against a cream of the crop top tier team like the Buffalo Bills. I'm excited for this game not because I'm going into it with expectations that we're going to upset one of the best, just
Yeah.
to get another pulse on what's going on with this rookie class, what's going on with this rookie quarterback, and of course again to bring in Myles and bring the whole episode thus far full circle, see Myles do Myles Garrett things.
I agree with that. One quick question though before we move on from Shador. In your opinion, and maybe you don't want to evaluate this right now, but is there anybody that you think he looks like in terms of veteran talent? I know I don't mean like he's there right now, but I mean like who he could develop into, in your opinion?
That's such a tough one, man. You could maybe say like Hertz or something like that, just thinking about the running ability being there more, but I still think of him as less of a runner than Hertz is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to really make those types of judgment calls right now. Maybe Gino, honestly, but Gino, like when Gino was good, not like Gino right now for the Raiders. But I don't think it's fair or right or comparable for me to do something like that right now. Why? Did you have a name in mind? Are you setting yourself up for a question?
No, I was just trying to think about like as we evaluate him and his talent on the field, who does he remind us of in terms of play style, etc. Um, I don't have an answer yet. I want to look at. I think he has better ball placement, especially where he's at, but maybe a Dak Prescott kind of quarterback.
That's a fair one too, but I see it's hard because we have these conversations, right? And it's going to be so polarizing to say something like
Yeah,
that because one side of the argument's going to be like, no, he's better than Dak, and the other side of the argument's going to be he's a fifth round pick, he doesn't even deserve to be in the same breath. And we're just talking generally right now, right? We're just
yeah.
talking our general thoughts of what we've seen, but it's also so hard because he's a rookie and he's developing at a weird rate compared to what we've seen before, quicker, but there's still some shortcomings. All of the things that we've seen thus far. Go check out our film breakdowns if you want to know more about the nitty gritty analytical side of all of this. But I don't think it's fair to really make any type of comparison right now. He's a modern quarterback. He gives modern quarterback the improvisation. There you go, Eric. My bad. Improvisation, the scrambling ability. That's all there. He's not a gunslinger. So he's in
Yeah.
that realm, that echelon of quarterback, but you could say I don't even want to say Patrick Mahomes, but you could be like Patrick Mahomes because he improvises and he scrambles around the pocket and he makes tight window throws. But I don't think that's fair whatsoever or right, either as to put that kind of pressure on him or to even put his name in the same breath as the best quarterback in the league right now, despite his injury and his team missing the playoff for the first time.
No, that's fair. I do wanna shift now a little bit, because we're talking about Shador, his comfortability in the pocket, and that kinda relies on the O-line. It's the most wonderful time of the year, Noah, unless you're a football player because you're dealing with injury. The
Yeah.
Browns have seen a lot of that.
Yeah, and you can see how long the list is really for both teams here on the screen right now. But Joel missed some time with practice with a knee injury, and it's looking like week 2 of no Conklin, no Dylan Sampson, no David Njoku. So the offense is going to be a skeleton of itself once again, in my opinion. Obviously, there's still one more day of practice today, and then we'll go through the whole process of questionable, out, healthy, whatever. But it's not going to be a fun one with Joey Bosa lined up across from
Right.
Shador for these pitiful, pitiful offensive linemen. I don't want to say pitiful. Pitiful is mean. Pitiful offensive lineman play. There we go for this pitiful offensive lineman play to be brought out in the middle of downtown Cleveland at 1 p.m. on a Sunday. What are you
Yeah.
thinking with the injury report?
Browns they're undermanned, and we have been lacking depth anyway, even when healthy. But yeah, I think they're showing that they're undermanned. This O line is like that project in sixth grade that you're gluing popsicle sticks to cardboard
Right.
paper. Like that's what it's held together with right now.
What kind of
Um,
school did you go to that you were still gluing popsicle sticks to cardboard paper, I think is what you just said, in 6th grade?
I don't know. Maybe we were slow learners. I just picked a grade. I guess that does feel pretty late, to be fair. Second
Fair
grade,
enough.
my bad. Um, I was homeschooled. No, you threw off my train a little bit. My point is, especially as we talk about Shador, he doesn't have a ton of time. He's getting pressured. We saw last week that he has free runners coming at him. So I would like to see, I don't know that we will see, I would like to see us game plan and scheme around that, get him out of the pocket more with some designed rollouts, maybe even some design QB runs. My expectation is kinda low, though.
Yeah, mine is low too. I actually have a question for you because of how low my expectation is.
Okay.
The Browns have shown a lack of an ability to run the football, especially behind this cardboard popsicle stick, printer paper, whatever the hell you said, offensive line. Um, how
Yeah.
many pass attempts, especially with it being like a fair weather game, do you think Shedeur Sanders is going to have? Because I think it could end up being relatively high, like asininely high, like we saw with Dylan Gabriel in the Steelers game where he had like 50 some pass attempts, just because there's going to be no run game, I don't think, for this team.
So, I'll answer your question, obviously, but, when you say ridiculous, you said 50 some, like, do you have a actual prediction here?
Well, I would think it would be 40 plus. I don't know if I can't think off the top of my head if he's even gotten to 40 pass attempts yet
In a single game?
in a single game. Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm trying to think when he would have. Las Vegas, he won, and he only
Yeah,
had
no, yeah, like
20.
20 some, yeah. But do you think it's going to be high for this game? Like part of me thinks he's going to end up throwing the ball 40 plus times.
Uh, no, I think max I would give it, honestly, would be like 30.
Yeah.
40 plus, I don't see that in any way possible. Um just in my opinion here. But he did throw the ball 42 times against Tennessee. So if that's your litmus test, maybe, but I think this is a different team that we're playing. Um, I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm not
My
saying
gut
he's going
says
to end up
no.
I'm not saying he's going to end up throwing the ball 40 plus times in a positive way. I just think that that's what the offense is going to end up having to do
No, I
because they're
understand
playing the
what you're
Buffalo
saying.
Bills. Okay, I just want to because you brought up Tennessee as an example and that was a really good game for Shador, but I don't see like I think if it gets to that 40 plus pass range, it could be another ugly game for Shador, honestly.
But
Just because
that was my point. That the Tennessee game, um, it was a really good game for Shedeur, and he had 42 pass attempts. Compare that to last week against the Bears, different reasons, but he had 35 attempts. So I see what you're saying. I just who knows with Kevin Stefanski, honestly. Like Kevin Stefanski's MO is uh, run it up the gut on first down, no yards. Run it up the gut on second down, 1 to 2 yards. Pass it on third and 8, incomplete punt. Like, how often when I say
no,
that, do
that's
you have, like, deja vu? Because there is no originality lately in the play calling, and we do try to have some. It's a really stupid trick play that you go, "What in the world was that?" Um, so
yeah,
I
you're
don't
not good
expect a
enough to
lot.
call something like that
Right.
whatsoever, right?
So I just
Let's
don't expect a lot at all.
yeah, that's fair. That's totally. I don't think either of us are coming onto this show having high expectations other than to be entertained by some rookies and watch Myles Garrett sack people. Let's get into the lines because the lines are hilarious this week, in my opinion. Go ahead, break it down for us, Eric.
Yeah, so the Browns are not favored, obviously. 10.5. Honestly, if I were you, and we'll talk about it, I would probably take the Bills with the spread. 10.5 is not a lot of points against this Bills team, in my opinion. Judkins is leading the way as an anytime touchdown favorite. I find this interesting, Noah, because when's the last time Judkins has found the end zone? I feel like it's
It,
been weeks.
it's been this will be the third week now. This is week coming up on the third week. So he found the end zone. Was it the Tennessee game? I don't know. He found the end zone and he hasn't since, basically. It's been 2 to 3 weeks.
I don't think it was Tennessee because I'm pretty sure I had Shedeur passing, Fannin, and Quinshawn, and I didn't win that bet. Anyway,
Last
Fannin
game
at
was
plus
the last game, real quick, was the Raiders game. So
okay,
this
so
is the
yeah.
fourth week. It's been 3 weeks since yeah, you get what I'm saying.
So that's what I thought. It's been a little while. If it were my money, which it is in a second, we'll talk about, I would take Fannin instead of Judkins, honestly. Um, Fannon's been the hot hand for Shedeur. They have that connection, it would appear. and we don't seem to be a team that gets down close into the red zone where we pound the rock in. In fact, it hasn't been a strength at all, and I think that's due to obvious offensive line problems. Um, so I like Fannin over Judkins here. Judy can't catch a cold. I wouldn't take that at all. In fact, I would probably take Njoku over Judy, and he's not
Njoku.
playing.
Okay, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say
No,
Erik,
I'm
buddy.
clear. I'm clear that he's not playing, and that's the point I'm illustrating. On the other side, you have, 2 potentially positive bets there in Cook and Allen, anytime touchdowns, and then, of course, the tight end Dalton Kincaid coming in at plus 230. Our favorite stat, though, Browns' first drive, touchdown result actually improved a little bit this week, which is interesting, plus 500. It was, plus 550 last week. And then punt, of course, minus 135, which gives us the opportunity to say, punts.
Punts. Yes, indeed. We don't really have to go into predictions. We haven't been doing score predictions. We're both on the side that the Browns are going to get BTA'd in this game, probably just
Yes.
because of the skill difference between the two teams.
More
The
than
main
10 and a half
things
is
more
all
than
I'll
10 and a
say.
half. And that's a high line for the NFL. Make no mistake. The highest an NFL line gets is about 12 and a half. So that's a pretty high NFL line. That should tell you what everybody's thinking and feeling with this game. I'm looking to see what Shedeur can do. I'm looking to see Myles Garrett break a sack record. I want to see Judkins get into the end zone again. He's been having some weird vision issues from what I've seen.
Oh,
We'll get into that. We'll get into that at
yeah.
another time. Trying to find any type of hole as compared to what we've seen in previous weeks. So maybe it was just a one game fluky kind of thing. We'll see. I'm just looking for the rookies to entertain me this weekend and have little to no expectations. I would go into the game if it was super cheap, but the Bills Mafia has raised our ticket prices, god darn it, to
Yeah.
multiple tens of dollars. I am not paying $40 to see the Browns. I would pay $4 to see the Browns. So we will see what happens. Bills Mafia, if you are watching this, welcome to Cleveland. Don't be too mean to us because we are a fragile little baby at this point.
Yeah, that is for sure. Uh, just real quick before we get into our bets, I'm curious because you talked about the line being pretty high for the NFL. Do you know the biggest point spread ever for the NFL by chance?
It may be like 17 and a half
28.
for who?
2013 Denver Broncos against Jacksonville Jaguars, October of that year. It was minus 28 for Denver, which is pretty crazy,
Yeah, that's an insane one. I would actually, I wouldn't even touch that line with a 10-foot pole just because
right?
28 is a crazy line for the NFL. Let's get into our bets, though. We're talking bets left, right, and center right now. Shout out my family. Left, right, center is our favorite holiday game. So let me get
Oh,
into our bets. My bet kept it really simple this week. I tailed Erik to piss him off last week. It got us nowhere. We both missed all three legs. So I got a Josh Jacobs touchdown, an Amarion Hampton touchdown, a Derrick Henry touchdown. Put those three leading running backs together, plus four. Not four, plus 542 odds. $10 wins you $54.23. That's what I'm rocking with this week to try to continue to keep my league of one single hit bet this entire season. Please don't tail us. Just don't. This is
yeah.
for us and for your entertainment to see us fail. Erik, you
For
want to give
the
them your bet?
I do, but for the record, that would bring you to about $90 earned um, so far on the season if you hit this. This is the entire season. That's where we're at with our bets. Like we have just handed FanDuel our money. You're welcome, FanDuel. I would have thought we would hit some of these parlays. I don't understand it. I like yours this week, but I'm not even confident anymore. But yeah, let's throw mine up because I went with some easy ones here. Philip Rivers, he was the story of the week this past week. I love old man Grandpa Rivers playing football again. He's one of the best trash talkers in the NFL in NFL history, and he's back on the field. The fact that this is a little bit similar to Joe Flacco, I guess, but more so. I mean, he hasn't played in over 1,000 days, I think it was. So I have him with 1+ passing touchdown this week. McCaffrey, anytime touchdown. I almost said two, but that's pretty much a lock for him. And then I took the Bills with the spread, minus 10.5 there, because again, I don't think the Browns even come close to touching that. My luck is they will, and that will ruin my bet. But plus 306 odds, $10 would win you $30.66, which would put me in the lead if you lose and I win.
That's all fine and dandy. I'm just going to expect us both to lose again. And we're going to continue this stalemate all the way up into the last week of the NFL season and into playoffs, if we even do it into playoffs, which
We
I don't know
well,
why we.
we
I
could,
don't.
but we talked about we talked about punishment for who earns the less or least amount, I should say. I don't even know if we do a punishment if neither of us can eclipse $100 earned on the season. Like, we should both be punished, and we have just by our money, but we could think about that.
Yeah, we can indeed. Eric, any final thoughts, takes, comments, concerns about the Browns and Bills? I think we really pretty much wrap this one up, put it in a bow in terms of what to care about, what to look at as a Browns fan. I got nothing else, man.
If I had a Christmas wish this year, and I believed in Christmas wishes being granted, I think it would be that we clean house, whether it's the end of the season, whether it's after the Bills game. I have a feeling it's coming. I saw a report today that apparently Browns are one of the teams with connections and considering talking to Bill Belichick. I found that interesting. I don't think that's happening for the record. But it sounds like what I took from that, it sounds like Browns are starting to do their due diligence a little bit around coaching. So it's sounding to me from the sources that I'm talking to, it's a matter of when, not if at this point. But that's all I've got. Noah, what about you?
Like I said, I got nothing, man. I'm here to watch the rookies. I'm here to unfortunately cheer on the brown and orange and continue to break down what's going on with this strong rookie class and this strong season for Myles Garrett with you as we wrap up and round the corner on the 2025 NFL season.
I can't believe we're almost there, and it makes me really sad. I'm excited because I love both NFL playoffs and college playoffs. I get happy because of that, but I know come February, there is not a lot to watch, and we'll talk about it at some point, but the Cavs aren't exactly fun to watch right now either. So that's gonna be rough. Maybe we'll break down film for the whole season again or something just so we can get our fix of football.
The dark cloud is over Cleveland right now between the Guardians not spending money, the Cavs. I don't even want to put names, letters, words to anything because it's just pitiful what's going on over there right now. And then the Browns, of course, are the Cleveland Browns. So that's just where we're at in Cleveland right now. Unfortunately, hopefully something turns the corner sooner rather than later.
Maybe our new women's pro soccer team coming in, I think it's 2029, can give us some winning and lead the way. On that note, the debate never ends, but the show does for now. We'll see you next time.